Hi there, Nicholas Campion here from First Formations, and welcome to another episode of Whiteboard Thursday, where we provide advice on a wide range of business and company matters. If you find this video useful and you enjoy it, please give us a like and share it with your friends and colleagues. But for now, let's get started. Today we're going to find out how to fix an incorrect director's date of birth at Companies House. Occasionally, when filling out the online forms involved with company formation or director appointments, it's possible to get certain information wrong or to make mistakes like a typo. One of the details which is particularly prone to minor errors is the director's date of birth. So let's start by considering, does it really matter if the wrong date of birth is shown? Well, the full date of birth for company directors must be submitted to Companies House, although only the month and the year is actually now shown on the public register. Under section 1112 of the Companies Act 2006, it's an offence to knowingly or recklessly submit misleading, false or deceptive information. In other words, providing incorrect information to Companies House on purpose or as a result of recklessness is illegal and can result in fines, and in the most serious of cases can even lead to imprisonment. Although inadvertent minor filing mistakes are unlikely to breach section 1112, it's nevertheless important to rectify these as soon as they have come to light, as Companies House uses the date of birth as a way of identifying the directors and PSCs. Please note, a company director must be at least 16 years of age. So if a director is appointed who is under 16, but the date of birth is incorrectly recorded to make them appear above 16, this may be more likely to constitute an offence under section 1112, as an element of intentionality may be inferred by the court. Before we discuss the process for correcting a director's date of birth, it's worth pointing out that it's not possible for companies to change a director's date of birth using the Companies House online service. Instead, changes normally must be submitted either by uploading or posting the paper forms. Now, the process of correcting a date of birth is dependent on when the error actually occurred, and there are two distinct variations here. Number one is upon incorporation. If a director's date of birth was stated incorrectly upon incorporation, well then the form RPCH1 must be filled in and submitted to Companies House together with the form RP02A, which is generally used to rectify the Companies House register where inaccuracies were initially delivered. And then number two is after incorporation. If the mistake occurred after the company was formed, so that is, the new director was appointed after the company was already registered via an AP01 form, then the new AP01 form must be filled in with the correct information, including the proper date of birth, and this is sent to Companies House along with the RP04. So to summarize, if the director's date of birth was incorrectly submitted on incorporation, you need the RPCH1 and RP02A. But if it was submitted incorrectly after incorporation, then you'll need to submit the AP01 together with the RP04. Now, one thing to consider when correcting a director's date of birth is what else might have also been incorrectly reported. Well, for a lot of small companies, a director is also reported as a PSC. And here too, the incorrect date of birth that has been reported for them as a director may also be reported in their position as a PSC. And if that's the case, you'll need to address this specifically, as fixing a director's date of birth will not automatically fix a PSC's date of birth, as these two positions are completely independent of one another. Correcting a PSC's date of birth depends on how the PSC was first notified at Companies House. If the PSC was reported after incorporation, this will usually be done using the PSC01 form. However, when the PSC regime was first introduced, it was actually the confirmation statement, or CS01, that was used to report PSCs. Regardless of whether the incorrect information was reported on the PSC01 or CS01, you'll need to submit the correct date of birth using the form PSC01 together with the form RP04. If the PSC was appointed at incorporation, there's unfortunately no current mechanism in place to correct this, other than to go down the route of a court order. Now, because that route is so expensive and time-consuming, most companies simply choose to cease the original notification and re-notify Companies House of the PSC, this time with the correct information. Now let's consider just for a moment a few questions that we are commonly faced or asked on the subject of directors' date of birth. The first of which is, can I use a confirmation statement to fix an incorrect director's date of birth? Well, the answer here is simply no. Now, although the confirmation statement can be used to update certain types of company information, they cannot be used to correct the details of directors, and that of course includes changing a director's date of birth. And the second one here is, how do you update a director's date of birth if I'm using proof? Now, the proof, or the protected online filing scheme, allows companies to protect themselves from unauthorized changes to their records. It's essentially a prevention of certain paper forms from being filed, and Companies House will reject these once a company has joined the proof scheme. Form AP01, which we mentioned earlier, is covered by proof. If a company is part of the proof scheme and wishes to submit a paper form, it'll need to get the consent for paper filing from Companies House by submitting the form PR03. For more information on how to obtain the PR03 form, you want to contact Companies House directly on 0303 123450. And there you have it. A director's date of birth is one of the main methods used by Companies House to identify directors and PSCs. It is therefore important to make sure that this information is correct. As you've seen, this is an easy mistake to make, but it's also not so easy to fix, particularly as it can't be corrected online at Companies House. So it's worth getting those dates of birth correct the first time. All Companies House forms that we quoted in this video are available for download on the gov.uk website. A link to the relevant webpage is included below. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. And in the meantime, be sure to subscribe to our channel to get more advice on limited companies, reporting requirements, and tax obligations. We're always happy to hear from you, and we can't wait to help. Until next time, cheerio.